Let me ask you a question. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time, the GOAT. Let's say MJ didn't have home court advantage. He wasn't playing at the Chicago Bulls Stadium. Maybe he was in, the Detroit Pistons playing against them or the LA Lakers. Well, is he still the GOAT? Is he still MJ? Is he still the greatest of all time, even though he's not playing at home? Obviously, yes, he's MJ, the greatest of all time. He's the GOAT. It doesn't matter if he's at home court or if he's somewhere else. He's still MJ. Well, what about The Rock? He's one of my favorite actors ever. And let's just say he's not, filming in Fast and Furious. Maybe he's filming a different movie or a different, Disney flick. Is he still The Rock? Of course. He's still The Rock. That's who he is. That's his identity. Now, you may be wondering, Joe, what does this have to do with losing fat and building muscle? Well, if you understand what I'm about to talk about in today's lesson, I promise you, this is going to be the biggest mindset shift for you ever. Now, before we dive in, I want to ask you another question, and this is something to really think about as we progress through today's video. Who are you? Who are you really? Not who your parents wanted you to be, not who your spouse thinks you are, not who your kids think you are, not who your coworkers and your neighbors thinks you are. Who are you? Who are you really? See, with Michael Jordan, you can take him away from the Chicago Bulls, and he's still MJ. He's still the greatest of all time. With The Rock, you can put him in different roles and different acting sets and have a whole different crew, and he's still The Rock. So who are you? That's going to be the question that we're going to peel back in today's episode and really help you cultivate and figure out. Because once you figure out who your true identity is and really start building upon that person, it makes achieving your health and fitness goals 10 times easier. I can promise you that. If you never change your mindset, you're never going to change your outward appearance on how you physically look. Anybody can do a whole bunch of cardio, a whole bunch of dieting, run a whole bunch of laps, and cut out their carbohydrates, right? But the reality is, what actually makes somebody successful long term at reaching their health and fitness goals? It has very little to do what they actually physically do when it comes to working out and eating healthy, but it's more so how they actually think about themselves. The identity shift that they have about themselves. So you can have one person that thinks that eating carbohydrates is the worst sin in the world. You are literally the devil if you even look at a chocolate brownie or a glazed donut. You're doomed for all of hell for all of existence. That's one individual. And that person who believes that, they're going to be doing everything possible to avoid the carbohydrates. But eventually, they might fall off. Maybe it's stress at home, stress at work, and they happen to look at a donut or take a sniff out of fresh worm cookie, and all of a sudden they're doomed for hell. Well, that person, right, instantly thinks, oh, I'm never going to get in shape because I can't be eating these foods, So mentally, it's the story that they tell themselves. Hey, I can't get in shape because of this. So all we need to do is focus on, instead of changing our outward look, we need to change our internal look. And this is why I'm all about having a healthy relationship with food. I'm all about learning what works best for your body type and your lifestyle, how to create sustainable habits. Because you could be somebody that thinks, hey, it's perfectly fine to have carbohydrates. It's not going to slow down my progress at all. Hey, I can learn how to have a well-balanced diet and still have six-pack abs. I can learn how to drink alcohol and eat donuts and still be lean and shredded all year round. It's very possible. But you can see in here that one is a fixed mindset, like the person that I talked about earlier. Hey, you look at a donut, you're going to hell, right? Fixed mindset. Compared to somebody that has more of an open mindset. Hey, it is what it is. I learn how to have flexibility with my nutrition. I can eat these foods and utilize them for energy purposes rather than storing them as body fat, right? Open mindset. Now, out of those two different people, which one do you think is going to be more successful long term when it comes to reaching their health and fitness goals? Obviously, the person with an open mindset. If let's just say you happen to have a cherry tree and you chopped it down and you wanted a banana tree to grow back, well, guess what? No matter how much you chop down that cherry tree, if it still has its roots, if it still has its seeds, it's going to sprout, it's going to grow back again. Guess what? Another cherry tree. It's never going to grow back to be a banana tree unless you change the seed, unless you change the internal approach, unless you change your mindset, your identity. And this does not have to be hard by any means. There are 3 things that you need to master if you truly want to change your identity. And it's not actually that hard. It's more so about just learning how to put the ego and the pride aside and be willing and able to just say, hey, I need some help. I need the right people in my corner. Because once you do that, That's going to be giving you a lot of success towards your health and fitness goals when it comes to changing your identity more so than anything, is putting the ego and the pride aside. And once again, instead of having a fixed mindset, you have an open mindset. And the first way to shifting your identity is by changing your environment. So hear me out. My son, he's 5 years old. He's going to be 6 here shortly. He does not know how to speak any Italian. But if I was just going to take him and ship him off to Italy, and he was going to spend the next 2 years over there where everybody is fluently speaking Italian, guess what? After 2 years and he comes right back home, he's going to know how to speak Italian a lot better than I definitely can. And it's simply because the environment that he was in was surrounded with people that spoke fluent in Italian. So how does this apply to you on your health and fitness journey? Well, it's simple. If let's say the family members or the coworkers or your friends, let's say they're toxic about themselves. They don't care about their health and fitness goals. They don't care about personal development. They don't care about, feeding their body with good, healthy, nourishment foods. They just feel like eating a garbage, all day long. And they don't care about being physically fit. Hey, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but some people, you got to cut them out because they're having such an effect on you in your subconscious thinking, right? Birds of a feather flock together. You surround yourself with these people, guess what? You're going to subconsciously start adapting some of their habits. Jim Rohn even says that you become the sum of the 5 people that you surround yourself with the most. So you really have to think about it from that aspect. Hey, these people that you're constantly with, whether they're at work, whether they're at home, are they actually, somebody that you strive to be like? Are they actually positive? Are they actually somebody that is more, hey, let's focus on making a change. Let's have this open mindset. Let's talk about, our ambitions, our goals, and they're hungry for making a change. Or are they stuck? Or are they just living in this, I like to say this hamster wheel of life where it's just, these highs and lows of the emotions. It's constantly the same old song and dance over and over again. And you kind of just stuck in a rut. It's like Groundhog's Day over and over again. If that's you right now, and these are the people that you're constantly surrounding yourself with, you have to learn how to raise your standards. You have to learn how to just cut them out, or at least stop spending so much time with them. Because honestly, the best relationship that you could ever have is one within yourself. And if you don't truly love yourself, if you don't truly respect yourself, and you realize here that your environment, right, these people that are surrounding you 24/7, if it's because they don't love themselves and that's starting to have a negative effect on you, you need to be man enough to just say, hey, enough's enough. And you have to be willing and able to leave because maybe it's slowing you down and it's not helping you become the best version of yourself. And if you realistically look at it from that aspect, hey, are you hurting others now by you not progressing and you not becoming the best version of themselves? Because remember, you can never pour from an empty cup. And the second way to change and shift your identity is by making sure that you have the right form of accountability. I mean, honestly, just like how I talked about in the very first part about the people that you surround yourself with, that matters so much. Well, accountability matters just as much because now it's making sure that you surround yourself with the right group of people that's not there to just, hey, flaunt and make sure that they're on the stride to become the best version of themselves. But no, these people are also holding out their hand and they're bringing you along the journey. They're checking in with you. They're supporting you. They're, holding you accountable to success. They're making sure that you stay on the right track. They're encouraging you, inspiring you, motivating you. This matters so much because remember, you're always going to become the people that you surround yourself with the most. And you also want to make sure that people that you surround yourself with, guess what? They're embodying, right, a better version of you. They're challenging you to become better each and every day. Just like in the Bible, it talks about in Proverbs 27:17. As iron sharpens iron, one man sharpens another. And make sure that you have the right people in your corner helps out so much. So if let's just say, hey, life did throw you a curveball, which it's definitely going to do. It happens all the time. Having the right people in your corner, hey, they can lift you up. They can support you. They can encourage you, especially when life starts to get a little bit tough. And the third and final way to change your identity is by changing your habits. Now, this could be physical habits, and then also this could be mindset habits. And I'll just share a few of them here just for clarity purposes to make it a little bit easier for you, okay? So as far as physical habits, if let's say like you're on this path of, losing body fat, putting on more lean muscle tissue, you probably know that some of your habits should be, tracking your macros. Let's say doing your workouts and tracking, for progressive overload. Let's say getting plenty of steps in, drinking plenty of water, making sure that your stress levels are nice and, manageable. getting plenty of sleep for recovery, right? These are physical habits that can help out so much to making sure that, hey, this person I'm trying to become, the 2.0 version of myself, the best version of myself, what are they doing? What are those habits? If you can start doing that now and embodying that person now, even better. Same thing applies to the mindset. So with the mindset, there's so many different practices and strategies that you can do. There's gratitude, there's self-reflection, there is, visualization, there's breath work, there's meditation. The list goes on and on. There's literally hundreds of different things that you can do to improve on your mindset. But I would make sure that for you, hey, what are they going to be the areas that's going to lead to the biggest ROI? Right? So personally, I would say, hey, if I'm trying to become this person where just overall they're in a better place physically, a better place mentally, emotionally, spiritually, what are some key self-help practices that I personally would want to do? Well, for starters, gratitude all day long, right? Because this person, maybe they start to see things from the glass being half full rather than half empty, right? And taking a note of all the things that they have in their life in abundance, rather than the things that they're striving for that they're missing out on because they don't have it yet. Well, hey, gratitude is the bridge. Gratitude can really be an amplifier for success. So that would be one of them. I think another great one is, self-reflection. Self-reflection is so great for when it comes to changing your mindset to just adapting more wins, right? Like who doesn't want to have more confidence and constantly seeing themselves as a winner? That's where the self-help practice of, self-reflection can really help somebody out. And I would say lastly is visualization, right? Because in order for you to see it physically, and actually achieve it in your reality, you first need to see it mentally. You first need to see it up here. So how is that person? Are they overcoming that peer pressure and temptation when there's all these foods at hand? And are they overcoming the procrastination and laziness when they don't feel like getting up and getting a workout in? If you can see that mentally already, it's just going to connect two and two. And now it's the physical habits and also the mindset habits. And this is, once again, can completely change your identity and help you become the person that you truly want to become. So guys, just remember, anybody can do some workouts, anybody can eat healthy and track their macros, but remember, you first need to become that person up here, the person that you're striving to become. You first need to change your identity. And by focusing on those 3 quick tips, changing your environment, having the right people in your corner holding you accountable, and changing your habits, that can help you out so much when it comes to shifting and changing your identity. I really hope that you guys got a lot of value from today's episode. If you did, give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below letting me know your biggest takeaway. And if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would greatly appreciate that if you did. As always, guys, this has been Coach Joe with Heartletics.com, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Peace out, Girl Scouts.